flamenco action going. I like that straight. Ooh, got a little western. Yes. Melody. Ooh, that was a weird note. But different. Yeah, right there. Will their children cry? When their mother dies, and in the autumn of their lives, will they feel the same? Ooh, nice little refrain. Harmony there was cool too. I'm liking this. Is this from the new album? Hell yes. Such a different side of Opeth. Unless it turns into raw. Whoa. I like that. I like that, like. Cool shuffle groove. This reminds me of the groove that Mike Portnoy talks about in one of his LTE Liquid Tension Experiment songs. Coming down like hell. Why did you leave me? Come here inside and tell me how in my final days I find the round. Okay, I liked his difference of how he's saying the lyrics, but that last one I didn't like as much. Found her out, just didn't fit. But everything else is like off, which is good. Different than the normal cadence. Bow, wow, wow. I like that. This is epic. This is like really epic Opeth song. How's it gonna release though? How's it gonna release? Perfectly. That's exactly what I was expecting and hoping for. That release was perfect. Nice. Nice transition. Beneath the white sheets and you'll wait forever. Nice. Is that Michael playing the guitar? Doesn't sound like it. If that was Michael, his guitar playing got better. Love this part. Ooh. Do it again. Now. Love that. Nice. That double bass is fucking ruining it. Like, in a good way. Ooh, nice stop and change. Oh, good note, good note. Like this part too. Chromatically. Nice. Like that difference of feel. There's his growls. Follow the siren in your head. I can see in concert people just fucking going ape shit in your head. Nice fills. Tremors all over the place. Fuck yeah. Whoa. Oh, back to the beginning. Or maybe not. I thought the bass was going to be the beginning, but... That had to be going into another song. So at 3 minutes, when I said this reminds me of the shuffle groove that Mike Portnoy did with Liquid Tension Experiment, you can see the similarity. I went back and checked it before I posted the video, and I was like, yeah, that's like a very, very similar beat, and it's a cool beat. And I find this amazing because after I listened to the song, you know, of course I had the lyrics up there, so I always, lately, I'm trying to find videos of the songs that I'm listening to that have the lyrics, which by the way is very hard. I'm surprised like crazy fans of a band don't do this more often, where they take a song and then just kind of have the lyrics, you know, so that people can like see the lyrics while they're listening or watching the video. Especially with like bands where like there's growling and screaming, where you can't really understand a lot of what they're saying half the time. Lyrics on a video would be very, very needed. So when I went back to get this video with the lyrics, I was kind of like shocked at how much I didn't understand even with the lyrics. So I went back after the video and I was like, okay, what the heck does this freaking Hessian peel really, what's it mean? What's the whole like idea behind it? And of course, it's just a guess. I mean, a lot of the fans online are just guessing what it's supposed to mean. I guess Michael in an interview said something about this was like, it reminded him of a breakup with an ex that he had. But even then, like the lyrics are not very clear. So there's not really much I can say about that unless I listen to it more times and maybe come up with my own meaning. But I've noticed that this is pretty consistent with Opeth, is like their lyrics are not very practical. If they are, it's practical to them, because obviously they know what they're writing about when they're doing it and the kind of idea. But the idea, unless they're very clear in some sort of interview about what the song meant or why they wrote the song the way they did, I don't think I've heard an Opeth song where I was like, oh, I get it. I connect with the lyrics. I know what they're saying. And maybe that's the way they want it, and that's cool. Like I've said in the past, lyrics to me are like secondary or even third or fourth in the mix when it comes to importance for me. But when you can have lyrics that and a message that is really powerful and cool connected with a good, well-written compositional song, that's like the best. It's kind of like, you know, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's kind of like having sex. Sex is great. Like, it's awesome. But when you have like emotional sex where you're connected, it's even better. Okay, I really stretched hard to find that comparison, but I did anyway. So nonetheless, the other thing I found interesting about this is when I was listening to it, if you go back to the video, which I'm going to post right here, the card, the last video I listened to by Opeth was Next of Kin. And I think like with like somewhere at the beginning, I'm sitting there listening to it and I'm saying, oh, this is very like, I like the guitar feel. It's very melodic. It's very kind of Western feel, kind of flamenco, whatever you want to call it, kind of guitar style. And it was very melodic, which people were recommending to me because the first half of, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 songs of Opeth that I listened to were very the heavy style, the old style. So people were introducing me to the newer style, which I guess this last album in 2019 that came out, or yeah, 2019, was a much different style overall for Opeth in general. And what I found interesting is when I was listening to this song, I was like, this song, I also mentioned in the reaction, oh, there's that like flamenco Western style kind of guitar again at the beginning, which I like, and it's very melodic. I was like, sweet. So my assumption was that this song had to come from the new album because it sounded very similar to Next of Kin that I listened to. But when I looked back at the lyrics, I noticed in the top right corner it said 2008. So this came off Watershed, which was 2008, yet that similarity 11 years later was there. So I'm kind of confused because like a lot of Opeth fans said like, you know, they went from this like heavy style that, you know, everybody knows Opeth as and fell in love with to this more kind of progressive, melodic kind of different style in 2019. But it sounds like if that was 2019 is when they went off kind of into this area, this was 2008, and it seems like there was a lot of similarity between Next of Kin in the beginning of this song. So maybe they were experimenting 11 years ago and then like kind of left it and then finally came back to it in 2019, or the fans didn't realize that this was already going on several years before this new album came out. But either way, this song, it might... this is tough because the way it was written, it's still not going to beat Harlequin Forest for me. Harlequin Forest is the top for me. So I really feel like you Opeth fans need to find a song, because Harlequin Forest was one of the beginning ones that I listened to. I think it was like the third or fourth song I listened to by Opeth, and it still has not been topped. Now what's crazy is, if you know me and you've been listening to my channel, I really like more melodic progressive style, which is I think why people have been like suggesting this side of Opeth to me more. But for some reason, Harlequin Forest, especially that ending, has still got the top seat for me, and most of that song, I would say most of the song is heavier and more like oof, you know. So I think it's really interesting, because even though this was melodic, this was very close. This was very close to Harlequin Forest for top dog for me. That beginning was awesome. The transitions were awesome from, like, each section was very well put together, even though each section, there was like, I would say 3 or 4 distinct sections in this song. And what's interesting is the one that I liked least, I didn't dislike it, but the sections that I liked least, let's say there's 4. Out of the 4, 2 of them were like heavy, old, growling, which is 2008, I guess, typical of Opeth. Those like sections I didn't feel like as connected to as strong, not because I don't think they weren't melodic. I think it was because I didn't like the switch as much from that like beginning and even the middle transition, and then that went into heavy and then went into another transition, which was like the drummer doing some sweet ass shit, and then it went back into heavy, and in the end, I guess there was 5, maybe 5 transitions, and then the end was more like melodic-ish. So I don't think I liked the crazy change from like melodic Western flamenco style to like, I don't know if I like that. I think that's too big of a change for me, maybe, to get used to, and maybe if I listen to it more and more, it'll grow on me more. But I think that those 2 sections, if they weren't there, if it was more of like the other stuff, because the other sections were distinct enough that they weren't the same. They were definitely different, but they still weren't like crazy shift from like this to this. So because of that small kind of thing, again, I didn't dislike the heavy part. I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. So because of that, it didn't beat Harlequin Forest. And maybe because Harlequin Forest is more just kind of straight one section. I mean, there are changes in Harlequin Forest, but it's not so crazy difference. I don't know, you guys can tell me if I'm crazy or not, but I think that's why maybe it doesn't beat it. But other than that, I think this is in my top 3 Opeth songs. Definitely in my top 3 Opeth songs. Very well written. And this is like beside the point of all the comments about, I think I read in all the lyric comments that, he's saying things backwards in that one section where he's kind of saying it backwards. And I was like, what is he saying? That it was like some reference to Stairway to Heaven's backwards satanic stuff. I don't even know about that stuff. I really don't care about that stuff. So even outside that stuff, this song, the way the cadence was, except for that one little part that I mentioned, the way the cadence was and the way his lyrics, the way he read the lyrics or sang the lyrics, the little harmony at the beginning, the transitions into the other sections were just phenomenal. They were phenomenal. So I definitely think this is in my top 3 Opeth songs, and I can't wait to go back and listen to it more and kind of get more of a feel. But as a first reaction, definitely in my top 3. But still, you Opeth fans need to find another song that tops Harlequin Forest. And for you Opeth fans, the reason I did Hessian Peel is because there was like a very, very small margin of popular votes. And that means that it just topped the other song, which I'm going to do next when I do Opeth next, which is the Grand Conjuration, I think is what it's called. That is the next song coming up on the list of for Opeth fans. If you like these reactions, that's what I'm going to be listening to next. So maybe if you want to, in the comments section also, prepare me for what Grand Conjuration is, to give me some idea, maybe before I get into it. But that's definitely the next song I'm doing. And can it get into my top 3 like Hessian Peel just got into my top 3? Can it beat Harlequin Forest? Let me know down below. Well, that kind of rhymed. So anyway, as always, like and subscribe, and stick back for more. Peace.